5 shocking Hocus Pocus facts you didn't know about. Hey guys, today we're going to list 5 shocking Hocus Pocus facts you didn't know about. Let's get right into it. Number 1. The movie takes place after the witch trials had already ended. Everything revolves around timing. The Sanderson sisters were hanged for witchcraft on October 31st, 1693, as we learned at the start of the film. The filmmakers almost certainly chose that date because they wanted their reappearance to take place exactly 300 years after they died, and on an appropriately creepy holiday, of course. It's an interesting choice, but it makes the film feel a little out of date. The infamous Salem witch trials took place primarily in 1962, with the final trial taking place in May 1693. By October, there were no more witch trials. This isn't a huge issue. Given that the Sandersons are, well, actual witches, Hocus Pocus is already taking liberties with history. When confronted with their powers, it's easy to believe that townspeople would take matters into their own hands. In any case, the sisters were hanged the morning after they sucked the life out of little Emily, so there was no real trial. Despite the fact that it takes place after the infamous Salem witch trials, the film relies on its association with them. Number 2. Binks was unable to speak until the candle was lit. The townspeople rise up against the witches at the beginning of the film after the Sanderson sisters have murdered Emily and turned her brother, Thackeray Binks, into a black cat. When Thackeray and Emily's father asks what they've done with his son, Winnie only responds, "Cat's got my tongue." The camera cuts to a black cat rubbing up against Mr. Binks, attempting to get his attention. However, Thackeray's father is unaware that this cat is his son and kicks the cat away. It's a heartbreaking scene, but fans have always wondered why Thackeray doesn't talk to his father here like he does with Max, Danny, and Allison later in the film. There are several options here. The first is that Binks had only recently been transformed into a cat and hadn't yet learned how to communicate using a set of feline vocal cords. Another theory holds that Binks can only communicate with children because their minds are so open to the idea of magic. The most likely explanation is that Binks couldn't speak until the black flame candle was lit. After all, if it was just the kids, Binks would have warned them about the candle beforehand rather than just pouncing on Max. Number 3. Siblings played a married couple. The devil is in the details. In this case, the specifics are that real-life siblings played a married couple in Hocus Pocus. Gary Marshall, who has since passed away, plays a man dressed up as Satan for Halloween, whom the Sanderson sisters mistake for the devil himself. Naturally, his wife becomes envious when they make themselves at home in his Salem home, especially when Satan begins dancing with the seductive Sarah. The wife in question is a hard-drinking, chain-smoking woman with hair curlers who convinces the sisters that Satan has married Medusa. The wife, however, is unfazed, asking them, "Aren't you broads a little bit old to be trick-or-treating?" The late great Penny Marshall, Gary's sister, plays Satan's wife. It's strange that a legendary brother and sister comedy duo played husband and wife in Hocus Pocus, but who better to channel the realities of an annoyance than an annoyance? Number 4. The witches know too many modern things. For people who died 300 years ago, the Sanderson sisters are quite familiar with modernity. For example, Mary mentions cooking with margarine, despite the fact that margarine was not invented until 1869. Mary also says she's going to turn Danny into a shish kababy, implying that despite never having eaten one, she knows what a shish kebab is. She also uses a vacuum cleaner instead of a broom because she found one in the closet. This implies that she would understand that a vacuum cleaner is similar to a broom, only more advanced, which its design would not convey to someone in 1693. Winnie also has a few modern anachronisms. To begin, despite the three sisters' lack of familiarity with paved roads, town buses, and any type of automobile, Winnie flies up on her broom alongside Max's getaway car and asks to see his driver's permit, implying that she understands what one is, why he needs one, and how a cop would ask for one when pulling someone over. Winnie's most modern insight, however, is her knowledge of the music and lyrics to Screamin' Jay Hawkins' 1956 hit, "I Put a Spell on You." They are aware of magic, which could be a factor here, but let's be honest, the film needed an excuse to feature Bette Midler singing, and we're not too upset about it. Number 5. Midler's career is mentioned in the film. Hocus Pocus contains numerous references to Bette Midler's career. Winnie says to the audience, "Hello Salem, my name's Winifred, what's yours?" This is a nod to the line, "Hello world, my name's Rose, what's yours?" from the famous musical Gypsy. Midler starred in a TV movie version of Gypsy that came out in 1993, the very same year that Hocus Pocus hit theaters. Gypsy premiered on television in December of that year, but Gypsy was shot before Hocus Pocus, so Midler may have decided to throw the reference in herself. The entire musical number was also staged and interpreted to emulate Midler's legendary stage presence. In addition, Mary says in Hocus Pocus, "Oh Winnie, thou art divine," a reference to Midler's nickname and her 1972 debut album, The Divine Miss M. That's all for today, and we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.